uwager.lv, sportsbook, and casino. Sign up today at uwager.lv, the premier online sportsbook, taking wagers since 1998. The most player-friendly lines, weekly juice specials, and a true dime line in MLB. Unique casino platforms with thousands of games. Play poker, high stakes, low stakes, or tournament play. uwager.lv, what we offer. Free same-day payouts. Customer service and wagering support, 24/7, year-round. Free monthly rebates on your action and daily casino rebates. Contests, free bets, best bonuses, and giveaways. Generous referral program. Get an 80% free play bonus on your first deposit, up to $1,000. Sign up today, and use promo code SPORTSWEB. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television on a happy
Hump Day
edition. I'm your host, Peter Blake. It's the Sports Web. How do we start off this show as we always do here on a Monday and Wednesday night? Sorry, guys. I had to take a night off, a little mental break, but I'm back here ready to go. Are you ready? You love it. You got to have it. It's three things. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, of course, we'll have my co-host, Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Chicago Sports, on with us, of course, discussing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What's the over-under on Bucs wins in 2023? Vegas doesn't think too highly of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What a shame. Brace yourself. You're going to be a little bit upset, if you will, as we always do. We get you upset on this show. Of course, Harry the Greek. If he's not pissing you off, he's not doing his job. That's what he will say. Of course, we'll have the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, from a Coach Scott and Al media member of Night Sports Productions, Amped Up Sports. And, of course, a treat here, a guy who comes in here all the time, does his cup of Ray. You never know when it's going to be, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, when there's breaking news. He'll definitely pop on. Best of the Bay himself, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, just one night before the Tampa Bay Rays open up their season. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the moves that they made. They got a new kicker now. That's amazing. So we'll get your thoughts on that. Todd Bowles making some comments about quarterbacks, about the quarterback competition, and Arthur Blank. Wow. Yeah, that's what I think about those comments. And then, of course, open phone calls, or open phone lines, if you will. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, the other number, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. So let's get all of our guests on, shall we? Here we go. Professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Chicago Sports, Mr. Harry the Greek. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. How you doing?
What's up, brother?
What's going on? Let's go ahead and get our other guest on here. Here we go. I really hate you. Let me go out to Mr. Leo Haggerty himself, the legend. Oh, geez. There you go, Leo Haggerty. And then, of course, right there, Mr. Best of the Bay. I don't have any walk-up music. I guess we got to get some walk-up music for this guy. Best of the Bay himself, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. A full house tonight. Gentlemen, before we start here, we're going to have to start this on a somber note. Mr. Ralph Williams, bodyguard of the Berg, no turnbuckle talk tonight. Unfortunately, guys, I want to start off the segment with giving a moment of silence. He actually lost his nephew today.
Oh, terrible.
For me, guys, let's go ahead and start it out with a moment of silence, and then we'll get on with it. Ralph, good luck to you, my friend. Prayers are out to you and your family. We're here for you on the Sports Web. Take as much time as you can. Life is too short, my friend. Like I said, we love you here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. So with that being said, let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's try to clear our heads here and take our minds off of a tragedy like that. A nephew, somebody being lost is never a good thing to start out a show, but we're going to go ahead and go through it here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a new kicker and a Chase McLaughlin from the Indianapolis Colts, his seventh team here. Gentlemen, Harry, what do you think about this move? Because it was the big news yesterday. I know Ray went live last night on Cup of Ray. Definitely better beyond 50 yards, 9 for 12, and I think that was the main key of this move by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Welcome to the Evolution.
It's a good move. I mean, I'm still a suck-up supporter. I mean, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I mean, I don't really have that much to add. He's a kicker who can kick the ball. Ray, this is your thunder. Go for it.
Well, I know Ray wants to definitely chime in on this. Tampa Bay Ray, you were loving Ryan Suckup when he was here. Now he's no longer here. Now it's McLaughlin. What are your thoughts? And we have no sound from Ray. That's not good. So you went from.
No, hang on.
Sorry.
There
I
we
muted
go. There we go. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Welcome to the evolution, my friend.
Brothers, I said shout out to Benny Sokolakis today for mentioning the Neil O'Donoghue kick against Philadelphia in the 79 playoff game. Of course, the worst of first season. Their first playoff game, they beat the Eagles, advance and lose to the Rams. Shut up, Harry. Was that Harry laughing?
Sorry.
Wow.
It's habit. It wasn't you, Ray. I'm sorry.
And Leo went out.
But,
you know what happened there? He went dark.
this is the. But you know what, though, Peter? Borgalis almost won the job out of camp last year. Now, I don't know. Maybe one of you two guys can step up and tell me, did he make a pass at Darcy Glazer Kasowitz on the way to practice one day? I think that he's still over there in Orlando. He's competing, right? He's getting as much practice there as he'd be getting on the fields over at One Buck Place. I'm not saying Chase McLaughlin, who's played for, it's not so much how many teams he's played for, it's how many teams he hasn't. It's a smaller number. I'm kidding, but it's 6 or 7 teams. But he's a leg in camp. He's got one over there. They couldn't leave the job open, like they automatically by default are saving it for Borgalis, and Borgalis is competing. And if I'm Jason Light and that guy has a chance to come back like he almost did last year, I say stay there, make some pressure kicks, keep the flow going, and we'll see you in June. I mean, it could be that way, but so that doesn't really move the needle for me. McLaughlin, if he makes it, he's our kicker. I'll stand behind him.
Leo, your thoughts here. Bucs get a kicker, a veteran, it's 7 here. Just going out to Greg Auman. Comparing the kicker here, Chase McLaughlin and former kicker Ryan Suckup last year. Overall field goal numbers are close. McLaughlin 30 for 36, Suckup 31 for 38. But on kicks from 48 yards or longer, McLaughlin went 13 for 18, Suckup 2 for 7. Adding range for the Bucs will change this Bucs offense. Your thoughts?
Normally, I don't agree with Harry, but I got to agree with him. It's a freaking kicker. Why are we getting excited about a kicker? I mean, if they're kicking 55-yard field goals, okay, where's the ball? That means their offense can't get close. I'm a little concerned that was the major reason. Well, he can make it over 48 yards. Well, that tells me this offense ain't going nowhere. And that worries me more than anything. And again, they're going to – Ray, you're exactly right. There's another kicker coming in. They're not going to go to training camp with just one kicker, so we'll see what happens there.
Well, I'm about to freak some Bucs fans out. About to freak their minds out right now. McLaughlin has some wild stats. Again, this is according to Greg Auman and his Twitter. 17 for 21 from 50 yards or beyond in his career, which is outstanding. He's also, guys, get this. This ain't good. 19 for 32 from 40 to 49 yards. So
Matt Gay.
Basically twice as likely to miss on shorter kicks. A lot of people will go out there and say, why did you pick up McLaughlin? Why did the Colts let him go?
It's a leg.
They just paid Matt Gay the money at the end of the day. So yeah. I guess going back to you here, Ray, we'll go to Harry and Leo. Concern here that you maybe have to bring in another kicker because, you know, with him being able to kick from 50 yards or beyond, when it comes to 40 or 49, which is, you know, Suckup and how he was automatic, you're not so automatic with Chase McLaughlin.
Well, first of all, Chase McLaughlin's playing there in Indianapolis in the Lucas Oil Can Stadium, so a lot of his stats are coming on a controlled environment, no outdoor elements. I'm not saying it should make him better or worse. I'm just saying his stats may be a little better. And at the same time, Leo, and I'm going to agree with Leo and Harry again, kicker's a flow thing. As the Bucs went through 72 kickers between Matt Bryant and, you know, and finally they finally get, you know, my boy Ryan Suckup. Fact of the matter is, bring in 2, maybe even bring in 3. Maybe they even have Jake Camarda, who could do what basically everything else on this team, kicking, get a flow going in practice. You're going to be so busy with the quarterback competition and what's going on over here. The kicker should just stroll right into the season and beyond and be grooving it. And that's why I think Borgalis is grooving it over there at Camping World Stadium. And I think Jason Light's going to bring that kid in here to compete.
Well, and I tell you right now here, it is a big deal because after Matt Bryant, the Bucs 78% when it comes to kicking field goals. So it's a big time concern. And there's a lot of fans out there that really love Suck Up because from 40 to 49, he's usually automatic. Now 50 was a different story. So there's definitely some big time concern here when it comes to Bucs new kickers, if you will.
Well, on a more important note, I mean, our boy over there says he agreed with me. Doesn't do it very often. Actually, I hate to tell you this, it's 4 times in 2 weeks you've agreed with me.
Wow.
Just to let you know.
Leo Haggerty. So there you go. That's great.
It was 3 times last week, 4 times the week before, and 1 time already this week. So, Leo, I love you, buddy.
But last week we can't count because you weren't on.
That's
well,
right.
Yeah. No. I was on last week. I was on last week.
No, you weren't.
No, week before.
Okay, that's it. The week before. Sorry about that.
Your memory is fading right now, Harry.
No,
I thought I was bad. I'm the bad guy with the memory. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Barry Bonds played for. I said last night. What the heck?
What do you want to bet that the Bucs go back to Suck Up when they bring him back?
Oh no!
I will bet you what we always bet here on the sports web.
See, now look. Wait a minute. Look at the smile on Ray's face.
Wait, I got to mark this one down because you and your steak bets.
No, it's a steak dinner that they do not go back to Suck Up and McLaughlin.
I'm not taking that. That's a long shot, Peter. Okay.
Wait, guys. Well, no, I'll give you this. What if you cut Ryan Suckup to save the $2.4 million because you're applying it toward Levante David's new contract, which, by the way, ironically signed not ironically, but he signed the same day. But what if the season does come or someone does struggle in Camp McLaughlin and they bring back Roberto Aguayo and he's not working out? Maybe Ryan Suckup says, hey, you know what? I got a few jet skis and a boat still moored over at Madeira Beach Marina. I'll come back and kick for veteran minimum. Let's do this. I mean, there's always that shot. But I mean, at the same time, I think that 16 years, Ryan, you don't hear him sign with another team. The guy's a pretty good kicker. I mean, other teams could use someone like him. So, there's no static on that.
Leo, what do you say on that bet? You betting chicken wings with Harry that they don't re-sign Ryan Suckup, that they continue to go with either McLaughlin or a younger kicker at this point?
Actually, they got a good kicker coming in, guys. Cody Parkey's coming, baby.
Yeah. Well, shut up and be quiet. Go ahead, Leo.
We got to have another kicker coming in. You can't go into training camp with one kicker.
Cody, here comes Cody.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to go for the trifecta, Leo. He doesn't want a double doink. He wants the triple doink. He wants the left, the right uprights, and then the crossbar.
Uh-oh. Count it.
How about Rex? Is Rex Grossman available, Harry? Maybe he comes in and kicks.
Hey. Blasphemous about Rex.
Sexy Rexy.
Don't
right.
start, Harry.
I can't believe we've wasted 15 minutes talking about a freaking kicker.
We're trying to go 2 more minutes for you, Leo.
2 more minutes.
We're -2 viewers.
Over under Jason Light drafts a kicker this year, Leo.
Oh God.
In the 7th round, maybe. Yeah.
Mr. Relevant again.
Ask Harry the Greek.
All right, Harry the Greek. Over under they draft a kicker. Go ahead.
Well, let me see. My crystal ball says for Ray Kennedy, yes, they could draft another kicker.
Okay, and I think a lot of Bucs fans out there would be disappointed with that because it hasn't necessarily worked out in Jason Light's favor, a la Roberto Aguayo, and of course now Matt Gay.
Anything to keep this conversation going about a kicker, I am all for it, bro.
We can talk about kickers here on the Evolution. Ray, over under they draft a kicker.
Jesus, I'm gonna go even money because I mean, hey, if one's there late,
even money.
Luke Rose. Wait, isn't that right? Isn't that what I say?
Show me your VIG, would you?
Please.
Suck right there.
All right, let's move on, guys, to over-unders here with the Bucs. The Vegas coming out here, and
y'all are just teasing me with the over-under crap, aren't you? Because I haven't done a show in a while. It's the topic of the show. I have picks. It's baseball season tomorrow. Screw the kickers. Let's make some money.
Well, I'm just saying, according to sportsbettingag.com, the Bucs are at
6.5. Yes, Pete. Yes, Pete.
6.5. Now, Harry, and I've gone with you, and I've talked about this with Leo also and Ray. You feel like what? Again, go ahead and put your stance out there. Stand on this. Put your name out there. How many wins do you think the Bucs will have with Kyle Trask as the starting quarterback and Baker Mayfield as the starting quarterback?
Ray, go ahead.
Well, hold on. Now you first, Harry.
No,
yeah,
bro,
you're
I'm the prognosticator. I go last.
I'll go first. You guys fight about it later. I'll go first.
Okay.
8-9, Peter. That's
8-9.
what I'm
There you go.
Okay, 8-9. And
8-9.
who's your starting quarterback this year? Does it matter at this point with the 8 wins?
Baker Mayfield.
Okay, that's what I agree with. 8 wins there. Okay. I'm kind of seeing kind of the same thing. Ray, 6.5.
8-1. We're going to go 500. And the tie is going to be against the Atlanta Falcons because they'll be the team in the division that gives us the most run for this division. I think Atlanta has an inside track with what Ryan Smith is doing now. He's got Johnny Smith to go along with Kyle Pitts, and they've got Drake London. They got that defense they're working on, and it's his 3rd year there. But I say 8-1, and it's Kyle Trask.
All right, Kyle Trask. All right, Harry the Greek. Go ahead and give me the over-under here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2020.
Don't make me full screen.
Why?
Because I don't want to be full screen right now.
I want to make you full
Because I have to see the look on your face, Tampa Bay Ray, and my buddy over here, Mr. Leo Haggerty.
Okay.
There's a very important question lingering here.
Did you swing the bat?
Nope.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
What did you eat for dinner?
I just need to know who's going to be kicking for this team. This is important. Jesus. Who's the kicker for this team? And I'm going to give you the prediction for wins.
Okay, go ahead. Give it you.
Now, before, I told everybody because I thought Suck Up, okay.
This guy sucks.
Because Ryan Suck Up was our kicker, okay. I'm going to be Lovie Smith. Ryan Suck Up is our kicker. Okay? Honestly, if it was Suck Up, I'm going to have to say with Trask, they have a minimum of 10 wins this year because you're going to have a top 5 running game in the National Football League.
Wow.
Let me explain to you this. This offense is going to be something totally unlike what we've seen in many of years in Tampa Bay.
Nice.
Bye-bye, Chuck and Duck football. Here comes the running and set up the pass with arguably some of the best receivers in all of football. I don't care who's under center. If you can protect him, well, by the way, you're going to protect them a lot more because they're going to be running the football and they're going to be respecting this running game that they have, that they're going to play a lot of man coverage. Trust me on this when I tell you, the Buccaneers will have success running the football because Todd Bowles is finally going to put his thumbprint on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they're going to have a minimum of 10 wins. Now, without Ryan Suck Up, it could go to 9.
He's such an idiot.
Okay. But the bottom line is this: the over and under is 6.5. It is arguably the worst. It's arguably the worst division in all of football. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In all of football, this is worse than the NFC least was 2 years ago.
Okay. I tell you what.
Hold on.
No, last year they were not going into this year, Harry.
Alex, hold on. Call back. I want to finish up with Harry here because Alex wants to call in here.
I want Alex Nunster to call through because I love this cat. Okay.
Yes.
But seriously, it does have a lot to do with the kicker. They have to have a kicker on this team. And I'm trying to say this with a straight face because Leo wants to hit me in the head. I'm trying to make it a total of 30 minutes talking about a kicker in the National Football League.
We got 4 minutes to go here.
No, but seriously,
normal offseason.
People are like, oh, you can talk about it's Tom Brady and all his weapons. You can't talk about a kicker. You can't.
Hey, speaking of Tom Brady, look at the guy on the beach.
Wait a minute, man. This is my segment here. They win a minimum of 10 ball games this year. They do have to have a kicker because it's going to be a very conservative offense. And if they don't get quite close enough and they're 3rd and long from the 30-yard line, they will go ahead and get that 3 points. And that defense is going to play really well. Make sure
you have a kicker.
You play the over 6.5, but please, please, general manager of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as all Buck fans are praying, please go out and get Robbie Gould.
Okay. How many wins with Baker Mayfield?
Well, it depends. What kicker do we have?
Oh my God! Just
ask Leo. Ask Leo. If it's with Baker, and you have Ryan Suckup or Robbie Gold, you get 13. No, honestly, forget. We're not going to talk about kickers no more.
Why? We got 3 more minutes to go. We just did 30 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
10 wins.
Oh my God. And I'm the one with a kicker fetish.
This team wins 10 to 13 games this year
with a kicker.
Play the over.
All right.
I feel a little bit more comfortable with a kicker. Ask Alex if he agrees with me.
All right, Alex, welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with this jackass over here, Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire.
You're gonna let him talk to the Greek like that, Mr. Greek guy?
We shut up and be quiet. Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, and of course the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty. Go ahead, Alex.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing good, buddy.
Alex,
how you doing,
brother?
Hi, Alex.
It's been a rough couple weeks, but I'm getting through.
I'm sorry, man.
I figured I want to call in. Maybe I'll feel a little bit better. I haven't called in a few weeks, so.
Okay. All right. What do you have to say?
I actually wanted to call because you and me were having a little debate about your little Lamar Jackson post.
Oh yeah,
little Lamar Jackson post.
Can't we,
Alex? Can't we talk about Ryan Suckup and what it means to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers having a?
I just happened to listen to what you guys were talking about before. I called in, and I do believe that Harry's right. There's going to be some games that come down to, who's picking that.
Of course it is, because he's a conservative coach, and if you're going to be conservative, hopefully you score more points. But if you're a conservative coach and you keep it close, yes.
But you got to remember, we don't have a Tom Brady that could put us down to 50 more in less than 30 seconds at times. I think with Baker Mayfield as your quarterback, I think, and the running game that's going to be more into play. And I don't know what the pass game is going to look like, but I believe some games will come down to kicking a field goal. And I think letting Ryan Sutton go was a kind of a mistake.
Oh, Alex, I
agree with you, Alex.
All right,
we
Alex.
only have 31 to 28 seconds to go.
If you're going to ask me how many wins do I think we'll get, with Mayfield, that's a tough call. Depending on that offensive line, everybody comes back healthy. We do. I think what people are forgetting though is that let's be real. Baker Mayfield has never had the weapons that this Tampa Bay, Buccaneer offense has.
That's true.
I've never seen Baker Mayfield with a Chris Godwin or a healthy Mike Evans or all these guys coming back healthy. And then you got a decent offensive line coming back next year that I think, will help out a big lot. I think, and it depends on the running game. How much do you go to the running game? We didn't have a running game last year. Let's be real.
At all.
That was zero for us.
You're gonna have one this year.
The running game.
Well, you definitely better have one this year, and they're gonna either focus on the offensive line in this draft coming up, or you're gonna move Tristan Wirfs to the left side and go in the later rounds, or you're gonna go with in-house options with Luke Haggerty at the right tackle spot. So there's definitely some decisions.
Well, you got Walton. Walton played right tackle too, the Seminole product. This kid, Pittsburgh free agent, he graded out bad, but you got Walton, Gadecki. You still have, you got veterans coming back. And then we didn't even mention Ryan Jensen, bury the lead. We got a good offensive line. And let me get this straight. We're talking about Todd Bowles as a conservative coach.
Right.
But most people are automatically dismissing offhand that we're going to go with the duck and Chuck Baker Mayfield as opposed to a conservative 6'5", 240-pound rocket in the pocket and Kyle Trask, who's going to play conservative because that's his game. So I'm not saying he wins the battle going into camp. I know I skipped over some things here, but Alex mentioned it. But everybody's like, he's a conservative coach, but we're going to let Baker get his arm and come in and improvise.
I got an important question to ask Alex, and then we got to run here in a little bit. Where do you think the Bucs are going to draft a kicker, and what round do you think they're going to draft him at?
Is this an inside joke no one told me about?
I mean, that's a pretty tough call because
third.
I don't know. I figured I don't think there's any decent free agent kickers out there. Is there?
Well, in the draft, you have.
Do you think it?
Can I ask Leo a question?
I don't know how important. That's a tough question. It really is a tough question.
Well, Leo says 7th. Go ahead, Ray. You want to ask?
I want to ask Leo a word. Leo, did you see the latest mock draft?
I have not.
Right, because there is none, because nobody gives a shit about kickers. Let's get off of the things. Come on. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. There's a family walking by out here having a great spring evening. You guys are putting me on the edge. I apologize.
Alex,
hey guys, I want to end with this. Answering your initial question, though.
Yes.
No, I think the Bucs will have 10 wins depending on the kicking situation, in my opinion.
Nice.
I will say one thing. Are you attention to them Atlanta Falcons and what they're doing?
What are they doing? Their owner is making some ridiculous comments. I know you want to get into that.
I don't care about the comments. I'm talking about the signings that they're doing. Like, they're looking pretty solid.
I mean, they got Calais Campbell. He's 36 years old. They got Scotty Miller. Scotty doesn't know because he's no longer with the Bucs, but he's fallen off the face of the earth ever since he had the year that he had with 33 catches in 2020. I mean, really, what are they doing? They got a quarterback who's took them to 2-2 start, second-year quarterback in Desmond Ridder. You could have Lamar Jackson. You passed on that. Seriously, what are they doing at this point that you're so impressed
going
by?
back to your and by the way, I want to end with this because I told Peter I was going to call in about this.
Sure.
Going back to your initial Lamar Jackson post.
Yeah.
The only thing I wanted to say about that to you, because make you understand what I was coming from in that point of view, is I just think, going back to that initial last comment you replied to me on, I just think that you can't convince me that Lamar Jackson having the injuries he had the last 2 seasons, you got to think about it. What did he miss? 10 games in the last 2 seasons?
Okay.
That's a lot.
I got you. I'm glad you said that.
Here comes the Deshaun Watson comparison.
No. I'm going to let you talk. Before I go.
Okay.
But him, because you're going to compare Deshaun, but that's okay. You can hit me with it. But him at the dollar amount that he wants, there's no reason, no way. I mean, there's no reason why Baltimore didn't give him what he wanted. He's asking too much money. Of course, he's a free agent still.
Okay. Well, what's too much money? Because the market says that one quarterback got guaranteed money. So basically what you're saying is the owner would say this, looking at it objectively, I would say there's some concern on how long he can play his style of game. Hopefully a long time, but he's missed 5 to 6 games each of the last 2 years. Each game counts a lot in our business. Let me tell you something. The offense they were running last year was not no risk it, no biscuit. They were running the Lamar Jackson style of play with Marcus Mariota.
Exactly.
Marcus freaking Mariota. You would rather go after Deshaun Watson, who, by the way, guys, had
a better pocket passer, but go ahead.
But also, he has missed 36 games over his career. He's had 2 torn ACLs. On top of it, 24 allegations. You would rather go after him.
Do I think Deshaun Watson got overpaid? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. Doesn't make any sense. That puts holes in this whole argument, Alex. I'm going to get out to you, Leo, because I want to know what you think about this because we got you on here, and I know you're on a pitch count. But you go after Deshaun Watson, you strike out, you go with Marcus Mariota, you pay all that guaranteed money to Matt Ryan, which he was washed up. You paid all that money to Michael Vick and style of play. And you're going after Watson, who once again missed 36 games. So basically the whole injury thing the last 2 years, you've got a starter who went 45-16. 45-16 as a quarterback in the National Football League. And basically you're telling me, I'm not interested. I'm interested in Desmond Ridder. You don't think that's collusion? You don't think there's something fishy about that, Alex? Come on.
I do think but the only thing I want to comment on is your question of his play. Lamar Jackson is only good at one thing and one thing only. Because Jackson has what?
That's not true because the Ravens have never given him a number 1 wide receiver, let alone a number 2 wide receiver. That is an offensive.
They trade away A.J. Brown, Hollywood Brown, I mean.
A.J. Brown is not a number 1 wide receiver in this league.
In your opinion, he's a 2. Quarterback.
I'm sorry?
That's it.
What do you say?
If Lamar Jackson did not have the speed that he has, in my personal opinion, Lamar Jackson would be, in your quote, an average quarterback.
No,
average
quarterback. Yes, now with the record
below average.
With the record of 45-16, with being the MVP in 2019 with
I have to
winning a
disagree.
playoff game.
I don't think you heard the statement that Alex just made.
What
I
was
think
the
you're
statement?
debunking it. The statement
the statement?
was he's really good at one thing. He wasn't really. You got to stop alluding to it. He is telling you that if he did not have his speed and his running abilities, he was giving him credit saying he would be
Okay.
an average quarterback.
Okay,
And in my opinion, he'd be below average because
Okay.
he doesn't throw the ball well.
Okay, so are we going to say the
Exactly.
same thing about Josh Allen? Are we going to say the same thing about Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts? Because
No, because you just mentioned two
They can throw
quarterbacks
the
that
ball.
can sit in the pocket and throw.
Well, also,
Leo, take it over, please, Leo.
well, the comments are style of play, gentlemen, and the style of play in the
I agree.
National Football League has changed. So there's already all kinds of holes in that argument to Mr. Arthur Blank. Leo, I got to ask you about these comments. Alex, thanks a lot for the time. Appreciate you. Let me go ahead and give it the Monster Man.
yeah.
I mean, he has a valid point. I just don't.
I object. Don't. I object. You're going to Leo because you're going to go ahead and lead the witness into questions for particular answers.
I'm not, but I'm telling you right now, the record says it all here, gentlemen. 45-16. Roger, hold up. I'm going out to Leo here. Leo, go ahead. Give me your thoughts.
It's okay, Leo. Go ahead.
Peter, here's my thought. What did Arthur Blank say that is not fact?
There it is. I'm right again.
The last 2
He
years,
agreed with you.
he's missed 5 or 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
You can't pay a quarterback top of the line money when he's only playing 11 or 12 games. That's not good. I mean, look at what's happening with the Jets. The Jets don't want to give up a number 1 for Aaron Rodgers. They say, well, he's not worth it. I think the biggest problem right now is that Lamar Jackson, because of his injury situation, is not going to get that top of the line money. Again, as a starter, great record. The second problem, and Arthur Blank put out factual information. He's missed 5 to 6 games. That's something you can't deal with because your backup quarterback may be 1-5 or 0-5 during that time, and you miss the playoffs, which the Ravens did last year.
Boom.
Okay, and Blank goes on to say, I think we explored the one last year, which is what our responsibility was with the Watson deal. We didn't explore it deeply. We spent some time on it from a legal standpoint, personal standpoint, value standpoint on the player and a variety of things. Soon after we got into exploring, we decided it wasn't a good match. No, basically what happened is you got outbid by the Cleveland Browns at the end of the day. And even for them looking at Deshaun Watson with all the games that he's missed 36 games. You're trying to compare him to Jackson, who I get has missed 10 the last 2 years.
Can't compare the two.
Yeah, you can't compare because Lamar Jackson has been better. He hasn't missed as many games as Watson, and yet you have an owner talking.
Can't compare the two.
Okay. All right. So,
It's a reach, Pete. It's
no,
a reach
it's
because
not. It's
well,
not.
I understand where Pete's coming from.
No, but Deshaun played on the worst team in the AFC South, the Texans, and you had Lamar Jackson playing in the North with the Bengals and the Browns. They sucked, backside till last year or two. Pittsburgh always did their thing. That record alone, and at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is Deshaun Watson is top 10 quarterback in this league. He had an off year last year, and I hate that son of a gun. He'll win a Super Bowl.
The point of emphasis, gentlemen, from his comments, we're on the Sports Web here. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay, and the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty. The point of emphasis from the comments is I'm not going to take a chance on somebody who's missed 5 or 6 games the last 2 years. Yet the man was taking a chance. Hold off on the calls, Roger, because you're not interrupting me on my point. This man took a chance on Deshaun Watson in his rookie year. He missed his rookie year because of a torn ACL. He's had 2 torn ACLs. So the whole injury thing is out the door because you try to take a chance on Deshaun Watson. And then furthermore, he's missed 36 games, gentlemen. And it's not just injury, it's the allegations off the field. Come on.
You know what? You are very correct with a few things, but I think the point that you're missing, Pete, and
what's that?
Please forgive me when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
You're wrong. I'm kidding, Pete. No, seriously, I agree with a lot with what you're saying. No, listen, I do agree with a lot with what you're saying. But it's time that the National Football League, if they're colluding, let them collude. The players collude.
It's not right.
Okay, hold on.
No,
What? I understand that, but you can't have it both ways. At some time, you have to level out the playing field a little bit. It's not fair that Deshaun Watson, you're right, got all that money. I'll still stand by and my own convictions and tell you that Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback skill set wise than Lamar Jackson. But let me finish before you get unhinged. He never should have got paid all that money. But at some point, you have got to put a stop to it.
Why?
That's it.
Why? Why do you have to put a stop to it? Ray, you got to turn down your sound there because that wind is coming through, my friend.
It's okay, Ray. It sounded good.
It's not good.
Anyway.
Peter, let me jump in real quick.
Yeah,
Please.
go ahead, Leo.
Because I think what people need to realize is that what is Lamar Jackson going to do if the only offer he has is for $15 million? Is he going to play? Is he going to sit? I think what the Baltimore Ravens did was a stroke of genius. They said, go out and see what you're worth. Well, he's finding out what he's worth. And that's not a good thing because teams don't want to take a chance on a guy who for the last 2 years, right, Peter, it's what happened the last 2 years. He's gotten hurt and can't answer the bell. That's not good. So I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of money thrown at Lamar Jackson.
God bless you,
simply
Al.
because of the way he plays the game and his injury situation.
But guys, isn't that the reason why?
It's a hypocrite way of thinking because the owners are telling you that they're willing to take a chance on somebody that has over 20 allegations, whether he's guilty.
Peter, throw the allegations out.
Throw
the
them
allegations
out.
You can't because
you carry skills.
Peter, Michael Vick killed dogs and he came back into the
right. And this is the same owner that paid Michael Vick and is coming out here and saying, I'm not going to pay for the style of play. You paid Michael Vick before. You paid Marcus Mariota to run the same exact offense that Lamar Jackson would be perfect in this offense. You're willing not to pay him, and you're saying the reason why is because he's missed 10 games over the last 2 years. That doesn't fly. That doesn't carry any water because you went after Deshaun Watson, who's missed 36 games over his career. Who has
but not in the last 2 years, Peter. That's the thing.
The last 2 years he has missed what? How many games? 11 games. He was 11 games suspended last year. He missed the whole year.
Peter, Peter, there's one thing I will interject with.
And he finished out the year. That's the key.
And he wasn't even in the top 10 quarterbacks out there, and the Falcons were willing to take the shot. They're willing to pay
But
money.
the reason they were willing to take a shot at Deshaun Watson is he's a Georgia kid. Let's be real about that.
And this is also the organization that passed up on a Georgia kid in Justin Fields. Did they think that Justin Fields' style of play would get him hurt also?
I don't think Justin Fields is that good a quarterback. That's my opinion.
Well, I would say there's a lot of scouts out there and a lot of NFL people that would say he's one of the best young quarterbacks out there. And of course, the Falcons, passed up on him. I'm kind of wondering.
He may be one of the best young quarterbacks out there, but he's with one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Listen, and let me make this really clear. It's not fair for running backs not to get those good second contracts. And that is exactly going to be the norm in the next 5 years and on. If you want mobile quarterbacks that want to be mobile first and then throw the football, get used to it, Pete, because that's what's going to end up happening. They're going to be disposable. Let's go draft another. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. If it's okay for a running back who, by the way, carries the ball and they touch it more than anybody on the team other than a quarterback.
Right.
Now you got I'm telling you, man, it's going to be the same thing. Unfortunately, that's
Do you
that's
honestly
just my opinion
think
on it.
that this is? And I think Ray left. I think he lost control there.
Peter, I got to get out here shortly too. But
yeah,
Harry, I agree with you. Think about this: if they allow defensive players to hit the quarterback the way they hit running backs, you'd be going through quarterbacks 2 and 3 of them in a season.
Yep, they got to get this price down a little bit.
But it's not going to
They're
come down
going
because
to.
the genie is out of the bottle. The horse has left the barn. Somebody
If they don't pay Jackson, trust me, that genie went back into the bottle.
Yes, it did.
I'm telling you right now, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, maybe.
Excuse me,
guys,
they're pass first quarterbacks.
Different animal there, Peter.
Oh, why? Why is it different, guys? They have the same skill set.
The diatribe that I just went on, it's not the same skill set. The diatribe I just went on. Hold on. I said quarterbacks that want to use their legs first versus pass the ball. Neither one of those two quarterbacks, including Patrick Mahomes, is not a running quarterback first.
I don't think Lamar Jackson's a running quarterback. I think he has basically.
Oh, Peter, stop. Now that's
no, he's not.
You're not hearing what you just said.
He's with the Baltimore Ravens. They've never given him a number one wide receiver. They ran an offense around him. If you want to have, it's like saying, okay, you got Joe Montana and you drafted him in the 3rd round. And the reason why it's not going to work with Bill Walsh's system is because he can't throw the ball deep. Guess what Bill Walsh did? He created the West Coast offense.
Even if you're right with that statement,
what
do you know how long it would take a Lamar Jackson to become a pocket passer in this league right now? He came from an offense in high school that was run first mentality. He went to Louisville with a run first mentality. He has never, ever, ever been an under center quarterback ever.
Well, and that's also
excuse me,
staff because of Greg Roman running the offense that Baltimore ran. Maybe if you put him in a system that will work. It doesn't necessarily, and all this stuff about, well, you got to have a guy that's in the pocket. He's a prototypical passer. Guess what, guys? You don't want that. You know why? Because out of those two quarterbacks that we talked about, Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson, Watson actually has more sacks. He's taken more sacks than Jackson. Leo, I know you got to finish.
Last place team.
Yeah, I got to go. Yeah, but Peter, you can't count that only because Lamar Jackson has played with the Ravens, and their number one priority was protecting him, which they did a very good job of. Deshaun Watson played with the Texans. Thinking that he got them to the playoffs is amazing, but that team's in shambles.
But they also had DeAndre Hopkins. They also had J.J. Watt, and I feel like
they traded both of them away. Tell me how smart Houston is.
They're not smart.
I gotta go.
I know you gotta go, but you have to answer the one last question, Leo. Do the Bucs draft a quarterback, and if so, when?
They draft the kicker. That's what
draft a kicker.
You know what, Harry? Let me put this. Will they draft a quarterback before a kicker?
That's a good point.
I think
that gives us another half an hour to talk.
I think in the 5th and 6th and 7th round, when picks, you can throw the dice on. Yeah. If there's a quarterback they like, I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick him up. But I definitely think in the 6th, 7th round.
Why are all these teams right now around the National Football League? I can name about 5 of them right now meeting with the young man from Purdue who's expected to be a 2nd, if not a 3rd-day pick as a quarterback in the National Football League. What's everybody so enamored with this young man for? I mean, I don't know anything about him.
He's come out of a pro-style offense. The kid at Kentucky's the same way. Levin's played in a pro-style offense, which is his learning curve is going to be a little bit less than Richardson or C.J. Stroud because they played in a pro-style offense. Now, I think C.J. Stroud's the number 1 pick. Just by his performance in Georgia, he checked every box anybody wants to know. Gentlemen, until next Wednesday, my throat says good night.
Good night, Leo Haggerty, the legend himself right
there.
May
the leg be with you, sir.
Okay, and we got Ray's gone. So, Ray, if you can come back. If
it's
not,
you and me, buddy.
It is me and you. Of course, Lamar Jackson. And if you guys want to talk about this.
Would you like to continue that conversation with me?
Absolutely, we can continue it. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Mr. Roger Shue. Roger, welcome to the Evolution, the Tribal.
Acknowledge me.
By the way, you were talking all kinds of trash to me on the text message today saying how you whipped my ass. How does it feel? How does it feel to get your ass whipped at the end of the day.
Acknowledge me.
No, I ain't acknowledging you. I beat you today. I'll acknowledge that. Now, what do you have to say?
You worked an hour longer than me.
No, I worked the same hours as you, jerk, and you got beat. Go ahead.
Oh,
You get up at 5:30. You get out at 6:30.
It don't matter. I
More
still work the same
importantly,
hours, and I
let's-
beat you. So quit talking
Let's
trash.
Put the garbage aside.
How is my faithful Greek follower?
Jeez, you and your Greek followers.
in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Trask? Amen.
Bunch of cultists here. All right, good stuff there. All right,
Now,
all right, David
Greek-
Koresh, go ahead.
I have to.
Greek Koresh.
David Koresh, I did say that. Yes.
It hurts my soul, but I have to disagree with the Greek.
Thank you. Wow,
I
look at
think-
that.
He's going to disagree with the Greek on one thing. You want to know what it is? My crystal ball told me, because I said that the Bucs would win 10 or more games this year.
You're an idiot. He's
Damn
not
it,
just.
Harry the Greek. You are a psychic. You are the great Karnak.
Oh God.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
See, the Greekites, baby.
Greekites. I got your Greekites right here. What else, Roger? Why do you think the Bucs are
Wow.
going to lose or are going to be
Why
under
don't
10
we
games?
ask-
Yeah.
Oh my God! Why don't we ask what round are you going to draft a kicker?
That's
We
what
already
I want
asked-
to talk about.
What round do you want to draft a kicker there, Roger?
I would say the 10th or 12th round.
There is no 10th or 12th round, you idiots.
This
Exactly,
guy
dummy.
sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Roger. What else?
No, so no, man, it's been a great show.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are killing it like normal.
Thank you.
And Troy is still a punk. Won't call in. Just talks trash. I hate him, but he does bring up some actually funny stuff. So
Well, he does. What do you
Well,
think about the Lamar Jackson situation?
I don't even care. I'm in. He's in the same thing with like Brett Favre. I'm not Brett Favre. I mean Aaron Rodgers. I mean, who cares?
Well, he's one of the top young quarterbacks in the league. How do you not care?
The
Lamar
only
Jackson.
top young quarterback in the
According to
league is Mr. Justin Fields playing for your Chicago Bears.
By the way, the Atlanta Falcons passed on him. Just saying.
I know.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, Lord have
The
mercy.
Greek, my,
Yes.
my thing to you, Greek, is this. The Bears will have more wins than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll put a steak dinner on it.
It might be hard, and I'm going to explain why to you. I'd love to see that happen from your mouth, from your lips to God's ears to fruition. But
Oh my God, yes.
But the problem with that is that this Tampa team is playing in such a weak division.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, we're going to see, but I'll tell you what, it is baseball
North
season,
is not
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world who like to make a little bit of money. Cannot wait to give out a few picks today because it's going to be a good day across Major League Baseball starting tomorrow. And we're all on pins and needles, right, Peter? Wondering who is going to be the kicker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this
Absolutely.
season.
Well, it's going to be probably Chase
Who's going
McLaughlin.
to be the kicker for the Tampa Bay Rays?
Okay, there's nobody that's going to be a kicker for the Tampa Bay Rays, and they will
Okay.
have more wins than the Chicago
Greek.
Cubs. Bank
North
that.
side versus
The
South.
Cubs?
I say the Cubs have more wins than the Sox.
Wow.
Let's put a dinner on it.
Yeah, no,
Hang up on him right now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you later. Goodbye.
Cubs.
Yeah,
Cubs.
there you go.
Did he just say Cubs?
This guy sucks.
All right, let's go on to the comments. Call back if you like to. Open phone line again, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391.
I'd like to ask Troy Polamalu one question.
Yes, go for it.
Troy, what did you have for dinner?
Oh, there you go. That's a great question right there.
What did you have for dinner?
So he's first, okay.
Flawless victory.
Let's go out to Troy here. Rays suck. Thank you, Major League Baseball, for bringing back the Tampa Bay, or thank you for bringing back the Devil Rays
This
Yeah,
guy
they're gonna wear their uniforms.
every Friday night. So hopefully
Yep.
that's.
I think that's awesome, dude.
Sure, it's awesome. I'm excited about it. So excited.
I'm excited.
The Peter, yeah, I'm excited too. Peter, we know, doesn't take days off. This isn't 1252 Chicago sports. Wow. Okay. All right. So, well, how about this?
How about new?
Let's go out to Christopher Cole here. Good evening, everyone. Keep sleeping on us. We will surprise the National Football League. Why do you think Vegas is so down on this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, besides the obvious, which is
it is the obvious. It's the obvious.
Tom Brady no longer being a part of this team. I mean,
no Leonard Fournette, no Rob Gronkowski. Oh, no Tom Brady. Oh, wait a minute. No Tom Brady. Oh, no Tom Brady. That's the reason why.
That's what it is. Yeah. It couldn't have been the distractions last year that cost this team some wins.
Well, we don't want to keep going down that rabbit hole, and you get me up on my soapbox standing, looking like you did 20 minutes ago, screaming into the mic. He didn't want to play last year. This team forced his hand.
All right, let's go out to Tampa Bay. Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. We lost you there, buddy. Welcome back to the Evolution. What's up?
Beth, I wanted to apologize that all of a sudden it's been getting a little bit drier, the air. They said there'd be a little front, not a cool, but drier air. And all of a sudden that wind kicked up down there, blew my camera over, lost the signal. So anyway, I want to apologize, brother. So
hey, Ray, did you grab some wings?
No, I did not grab some wings because I'm waiting for the bet on the kicker if we get suck up back and they come over 9 wins.
No, but I am kind of curious, Ray. When do you think that the Bucs, because they're going to draft a kicker this year?
I don't think.
I just want to know.
I
think. Oh no! I guarantee they're going
to draft a kicker. They're not going to. I don't think.
Do you think they're going to take one in free agency, undrafted, or do you think it might be a day 2 or day 3 pick, Ray?
Oh, I think that light waits till day 3 because he wants to build that suspense. He knows that, by the 74th hour on a third day when they're down to pick 256, that, Bucs fans will be waiting with bated breath on the edge of their seats for that kicker that they're going to bring in and save the franchise from itself.
And with the 256 picks in the NFL draft of 2023, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers select quarterback.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
The
yes.
irony I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
We talked about the fact that the Packers had no leverage. The Jets, Woody Johnson says we got to have Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
And you got the Lamar Jackson going down here.
I think Lamar's going to the Jets. You really want to know the truth? I think Lamar will. And let me tell you why. And I'm interrupting Ray on this one. Because Green Bay right now, and by the way, Jacob didn't really completely agree with me because of all the players that are in New York right now and what they were told that they were going to be playing, how they promised Aaron Rodgers. Look, man, if they're going to give 2 first-round picks, you're not going to give it for a 39-year-old quarterback.
Agreed.
Even though these picks, if it started next year, could possibly be the 29th through the 31st pick in the National Football League in round 1, you might as well make it a round 2 pick. Everybody has sold their soul to the devil. Tampa Bay sold their soul to the devil to win a Super Bowl. It got them one. The Rams definitely sold their soul to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay.
Harry. The Bucs didn't sell their soul.
With Tom Brady, they did that. This last year was
with the
bad.
salary cap and the backloading of contracts and things like that, they did sell their soul.
The NFL today, though,
guys. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you got the Jets. We need a quarterback. Who do we want?
I think Lamar, if they're going to give 2 picks.
Yes. Thank you.
Don't go out and go get Lamar because this quarterback can help the New York Jets.
Yes.
Brother, Lamar's got a better psyche to put
easy, Pete. Easy, Pete.
Everybody's
make me full screen, Pete. I'm going to tell you this, right?
Oh my God. Well, no, go ahead. Go full screen.
Pete,
yes.
Go full screen.
Yes.
You're right.
Thank you.
Oh,
okay, good.
Yeah, thank you. And you got and Arthur Blank to me is
No. I didn't say Arthur was wrong. I said you're right though. I think Arthur's right though.
I think he's out of his mind. I think he's completely out of his mind when you're going after Deshaun Watson just last year, and you're talking about injury history, and you're talking about style of play. And you've got a guy that basically all you have to do is plug him in, and you could be a playoff contender if you're the Atlanta Falcons with that division. If you're the New York Jets, why are you even wasting time with Aaron Rodgers? I'm done with the Darkness King. I'm done with him. Move on. Go to Lamar Jackson. Give him 2 first-round picks.
You imagine Smith brings Lamar Smith to Atlanta, automatically they're making the Michael Vick comparison. Like, we got our Vick back again, like they want to do with Richardson to Carolina and Cam Newton. But imagine Aaron Rodgers to New York. Imagine Lamar to Atlanta. Imagine they don't have the success they're supposed to have. Imagine you lay out $50 million.
I'm telling you right now, as my witness, and I would bet $1,000 on this, that if the Bucs had the money this year, he would be their number one target because he fits so well with this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. You have 2 wide receivers. You have a young guy. You don't necessarily have to draft somebody. The Bucs always have great times with the vet quarterback. And what Dave Canales did with Geno Smith, could you imagine what type of offense when it's run-oriented with Canales and Jackson and Todd Bowles? And even Todd Bowles admitted, and he talked about it this week, they're shedding money. They can't make him an offer, but he hates playing against him. Can you imagine Todd Bowles being the coach of this team? The defensive mindset of what he could do with Lamar Jackson and all these weapons. Any other year, if the Bucs had the money, he would be the number one guy they're going after. You would have no conversation of Kyle Trask. You have no conversation of Baker Mayfield. It would be Lamar Jackson.
I agree with you, Pete. I agree with you if the Bucs had the money for Lamar Jackson for a year because Jason Light's proven that he can build a team that just needs that piece. But I'll tell you, I think it's a stretch to compare Lamar Jackson to Geno Smith because Geno Smith is a pocket passer. He used to, he doesn't.
But he's also mobile, and you have those components. And once again, going back to Joe Montana and the whole West Coast offense comparison, the reason why you drafted Joe Montana in the first place, well, he's not going to be able to fit in Bill Walsh's offense. You make him fit. It's like your boy Lovie Smith. Well, Darrelle Revis, he ain't going to work on our defense, so we're going to cut him, let him go to New England and win a Super Bowl. You make him fit in that defense. You adjust to your players' strengths, and you also eliminate their weaknesses. That is great coaching.
What does almost mean?
What do you mean almost?
Almost.
Almost only counts in what, Pete?
What do you mean almost?
Well, the Bucs, if they had the money, they almost had the money. What does almost mean? What does it count? It counts in horseshoes
and hand grenades
and shit fights.
Okay. All right. Well,
it does because sometimes when you throw the poo-poo, it lands next to you, but just a little bit gets on you. Look, man, it ain't happening. And when you're saying that he fits this style of offense, what, the last 3 years?
Can make him fit the yes, of course, with this team and the inability to block. But the mobility that he's got?
Lamar's first instinct is to run. This offense is predicated upon the first instinct is to throw vertical. And then, and I'm not saying because Tom Brady literally is the least
Lamar Jackson can throw from the pocket. Let's not act like he can't throw from the pocket.
It's the threat of the window that opens the back end, Pete. But Lamar can't read defenses like Deshaun
I'm not
Watson.
ready to say he can't read a defense. I'm not
No. He said he cannot read them he can read a defense. He just doesn't see it. And this is where that skill set comes in.
Okay. All right. What else, Ray?
No, interesting fact with Joe Montana, because you mentioned him earlier today.
Yes.
I watched again the '83 draft from Elway to Marino, and people forget there was.
I watched that too. That was awesome.
It wasn't awesome.
There was 5 minutes on the clock, although I don't want to say that Bill Walsh ever actually decided to do it, but there was 5 minutes where he was considering a trade that would have sent Joe Montana to Indianapolis and would have brought John Elway, the Stanford kid. And of course, we know that Bill Walsh had the ties to Stanford. So I'm going to leave with that, brother, but I want to just call you guys and apologize. My camera went out.
No, man.
You don't have to apologize, Ray.
How many shows have we done together? Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, Best of the Bay. We will see you soon. I know you're getting jacked up for the Tampa Bay Rays. Really quick, guys. I know you want to give out some baseball picks. Number of wins this year, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, that the Rays have, in your opinion?
They're going to be right at or above 100.
Okay, 100 wins. Wow. All right.
This pitch, let me finish with this. From McClanahan to Glasnow, who'll come back. You got Springs, Eflin, and even Rasmussen. That's your starting five. Wander Franco's coming back. This team, Brandon Lau is going to be looking good. And, of course, Randy Arozarena, I think, is your team MVP. I think we got that experiment over at first base, and we're going to figure out the catching. But I tell you what, this pitching five and a little bit – and I know it's the old Tampa Bay thing. We got to get a little offense. This year, it's not the hit show. We're going to actually play small ball with the new rules, and we are going to win the American League East. I'm calling it. I'm calling my shot.
All right, it's American League East right there, Tampa Bay. Ray Kennedy, let me give you the horns. There it is. Really quick with him on the phone here. How many wins, Harry the Greek, and why? Not 100 wins. How many wins?
Not this year.
Wow.
Not this year. That this division is the best division of all of baseball. Let me tell you how I think they finish. I first off, the Toronto Blue Jays are probably going to win the division this year.
Okay.
Boston will sit in the cellar, and Tampa Bay finishes somewhere in the middle. And you didn't hear me say anything about Baltimore because Baltimore is a really good team this year. A very, very good team this year. They're going to finish 500. Tampa finishes right around 500 this year.
Wow. So how many wins you would say?
I said about 500.
500.
81.
Okay. 81
wins.
Wow.
There we go.
81. I would say
that's because
I'm
this division. If Baltimore didn't ascend like they did, okay, and you see in the way that Toronto, and they made their acquisitions with pitching, with that hitting, oh my Lord, that you talk about scary. This looks like the New York Yankees on steroids, which is sitting just north of the border. I'm not kidding you. Boston will probably finish in the cellar this year.
I would say 95 wins by the Tampa Bay Rays. 95 wins with that pitching staff. There's going to be major questions on where they're going to get the offensive numbers.
Well, where do you think they're going to finish in the division?
I tend to agree with Tampa Bay Ray. I actually think they could win the AL East with 95 wins because every other team out there is going to beat each other up. I think the Rays have the pitching, and as much as as critical as I am on the Rays ownership, and we know I'm not going down that road again. The biggest question is, can they score enough runs? Because if they can pitch, they can stay healthy. Wander Franco can be 100%.
Love Wander Franco, one of the best talents in all of baseball.
Already hurt.
And here's a little,
and Tyler Glass now is already hurt. So those are not the things that you want to see with this Tampa Bay Rays team. I'm excited. People think I'm not excited. I'm generally excited about the Tampa Bay Rays this year. I got Tropicana in the back. I'm a Rays fan. Don't like the ownership, but I like what they did this year. Wish they would have spent more money offensively. That's my biggest question mark. Consistently, can they score enough runs? If they can score 4 to 5 runs a game with this pitching staff,
that's any team.
With this team, it's always been this team.
That's any team. That's any team. If they can score 4.5 runs a game, you're going to win 100 games.
That's the problem with the Tampa Bay Rays. They struggled last year against the Cleveland Indians, who could forget in that postseason they were not able to score enough runs. That was embarrassing. Can they overcome that?
Hey guys,
we'll see.
Don't forget, the Rays are one of the most aggressive. Kevin Cash and these Rays team are one of the most aggressive base stealing teams they have been. And you're going to find, I know we talk about, well, each base got 1.5 inches on both sides. And I don't think that alone, that little circumference of the field makes it so steals. I think that with the new rules, the things that are going on this year, taking away the shift, you're going to see teams playing small ball, and you're going to see that aggressive. But Rays, I think they're going to be right at or about top three teams in the league at stealing bases in 2023.
All right, we'll see.
I agree with that.
We'll see how the pitch clock works out. We'll see how the new rules. That scares the hell out of me. I'm a purist when it comes to baseball. I don't like that at all. You're
going to love it, Pete. I swear to you.
All right.
You're going to love it.
All right. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, as always, coming strong to the mic here on The Evolution. Appreciate you, my friend.
Have a good day, Ray.
You two guys. Talk.
Hey, Ray.
He's gone. Yes.
Beg for the leg, Ray.
Beg for the leg right there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go back out to these comments here. We've been neglecting these guys here, the webheads on the sports web. So let's go out to them.
They're not just webheads.
Oh, they're Greekites. Of course, the Greekites. You like that, Greekites? Let me go ahead and play your music. Here's the Greekites. Opa!
You said it right.
I did. See?
You said it right.
All right. It's good stuff there. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Good evening, everyone. Keep sleeping on us. We will surprise the NFL. Love it. Troy Palamayu. Are you a media member but don't know how to set your camera on horizontal? Troy, just shut up.
This guy sucks.
He was talking about Leo.
Yeah, I know what he was talking about, and he just needs to shut up because he brings nothing to the show besides, trolling all the time. KR says, evening, guys. What's going on, man? Thanks a lot for tuning in on YouTube. I'm glad we got a kicker. I think there's a lot of people out there that are glad they got a kicker. Some people disappointed that they moved on from Ryan Suckup. I understand it, although once again, as we talked about it in the first segment ad nauseum, there's definitely a risk, especially with this team when it comes to getting new field goal kickers. Hopefully it works out. For sakes, Leo, quit with the vertical angle. Praying for your family and friends, Mr. Ralph Williams. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, Christopher. KR says, exactly, Leo. He makes an interesting point. If the offense struggles, that's not good. And hopefully this offense is not dependent on a new kicker, no matter who it is at the end of the day. That would most likely be the worst case scenario, if you will. But I don't think the offense could get any worse, knock on wood, as it was last year with scoring 18 points a game and having difficulty punching it in when you're in the red zone.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
Okay. So do you think we draft a kicker from Georgia to reunite him with Jake Carmada? We shall see. I don't think so. Ben says it was actually 102 kickers between Brian and Suckup, Ray Kennedy, but who is counting, right? Good comment as always. Yeah. Roger says, evening, gentlemen. Roger again. Bucs win no more than 8 games. Roger, Greek is wrong. I'm sorry. Wow, he's saying you're wrong. Gould coming home to Chicago. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Trask. Roger again, Bears will have more wins than the Bucs. I mean, you said it yourself. You don't necessarily agree with that, but I think Chicago right now really in the driver's seat. Great cap. What they've done with getting players and then draft cap.
It all depends, Peter, on what they're going to do with the offensive line. They haven't addressed it yet, but I understand why they haven't. They're not going to overpay for anybody. They're going to look for players to get cut. They're also going to draft. They're really in a good position. Go on. Sorry. At
9, no, that's okay. You're the co-host. Come on, you can interrupt me anytime you want to. At 9, if Jalen Carter's on the board or there's an offensive lineman, you're the general manager of the Bears. Where do you go?
You go off. You got to go offensive lineman.
Could you trade out? Could you trade out with somebody going up there to get a Carter?
You could, but if Skronsky's available or the young man from Alabama, not Alabama, but the young man from Ohio State, the guy from Ohio State, 6'7", 330 pounds.
Lacks,
he's probably lacks a little bit with his footwork, but man, I'll tell you what a beast in the run game.
I'm telling you, and that's what you're going to definitely emphasize at the end of the day. Deontay Foreman, is there a possibility, just throwing it out there, Bijan Robinson from Texas?
I'm going to tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. You don't draft a kicker that high, but in this particular kicker, I would not be shocked, and it wouldn't hurt my feelings if they took him.
That's shocking to me. We got some breaking news here. Hold on a sec. Let me just check this out. Okay. According to ESPN, this is involving baseball right now. Judge approves $185 million settlement in minor league suit versus Major League Baseball for violating federal minimum wage laws. Congratulations. I think minimum wage should go up everywhere at this point, but congratulations to minor league baseball with their settlement. That's the breaking news from ESPN. Mike says McLaughlin would be good. Christopher Cole says hope Lamar Jackson plays on the tag and the Bucs go get him next year. Hell, he may sit out for a year. And here's what his response was when Daniel, I wanted to call him Daniel Snyder, author blank, completely different owners. I don't remember me sitting out on my guys week 1 versus the Jets to week 12 versus the Broncos. How come all of a sudden I sit out because of money and which I could have got hurt at any time within that time frame when we know that Super Bowl has been on my mind since April of 2018? Jackson also goes on to say, let's get real. I'd rather have 100% PCL than go out there and play horrible, forcing myself to put my guys in a bad situation. Now that's selfish to me. Your thoughts?
I don't really have a thought on that one, Pete. Honestly, I don't.
I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. He's explaining himself how unfair, this whole narrative has been pushed out there that the guy is injury prone. I get it. The 2 years he's missed 5 or 6 games, but it seems like he's legit hurt. That's what I'm looking. He's legit.
We don't know how hurt the guy is.
Well, let's put this out.
We don't know how healthy he is.
If the NFL is about business, because we always talk about the business of the NFL, how they can cut you at any time, how they can restructure deals, how they don't give a crap, how they don't even give guaranteed money out there to their players and have caused a stink in this offseason about that. Why not sit out if you're not 100%? Because you are making a business decision because basically the Ravens told you you're not worth the money. Tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. Is this Charles Richardson?
Opa, everybody.
Opa. What's going on, Charles Richardson of the Charles Richardson Show? let me get this straight. There's a rumor out there that you're not doing the show anymore. Don't make me kick your ass now. You're going to be doing this show, right? You're doing your show, right?
Friday's the last show.
Why is that, Charles?
I'm going through a lot. I don't really want to disclose it. Just a lot at home, a lot of mental issues, and I'm a borderline psycho. Let's put it that way.
I got you, my friend. I got you. I got you.
But yeah, I'm stepping out. I'm still going to keep the Touchdown Crew show going. That's a 1-hour sports show I have on Sunday, but that's about it.
All right. Well, hopefully you get better, my
happens down the
friend.
road.
All right. Hopefully you get better. We're here for you on the Sports Web. You're always welcome here to call and say whatever you want to. So go ahead. I know you have some thoughts on, I don't know, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Lamar Jackson. Go ahead.
So Lamar is, number one, his biggest downfall is doesn't have an agent.
Okay.
He thinks he can go ahead and do everything himself, and that's just not the case. It's not happening. He also turned down money the Ravens give him. Oh, it's not a guaranteed contract. Well, listen, you're injury prone every year does not warrant a guaranteed contract.
Okay.
Why don't you play a full season before any guaranteed money comes out your way? Apparently, the Ravens are wanting to play hardball and say, okay, we'll go ahead and give you a tender. You go ahead and find your own deal. Have fun and see if anybody comes back with that offer. Nobody's going to pay him a guaranteed $250 million contract and give up 2 first-rounders.
Charles, do you think there's actually a possibility there that the owners have a wink deal, if you will, or the memo went out from the NFL saying, if you pay this guy guaranteed money, you're disowned or we're going to hate you for this? Because I go back to Harry. That's what it seems like to me. The genie is already out of the bottle. The horse has already left the barn here. You can't go back on it. If the guaranteed money is out there for Deshaun Watson and Jackson wants it, and I don't think this issue is going to be brought up when Joe Burrow asks for guaranteed money, possibly.
You're comparing two totally different quarterbacks, Peter.
That is the market.
It's not the market. You're talking about a running first quarterback versus a pocket passer, Pete. Okay? The guy, listen, man, I love Lamar Jackson. He's got a great skill set. He just has to be better in the pocket. Nobody is going to give him that kind of money. And if they do, it's going to be out of desperation. And it's about time that the NFL owners do collude.
Why?
Okay. Why? Because you do not set the market. You already talked about letting the genie come out of the bottle. Well, You know what? The genie's going to go back into the bottle, because if they're not going to pay a running back on the second contract, they're not going to pay a run first quarterback. Trust me.
Do you think
that's going to be the new norm?
Do you think if they start giving out, Charles, guaranteed contracts to players, that the owners all of a sudden are going to go broke?
No.
Okay, then. So what's the issue, guys?
But here's the thing. Guaranteed contracts are rare. Okay, Deshaun got one for big money from the Browns, but that's the Browns. Are they really going anywhere? No. That's the Browns. They need to go ahead and make a big splash in Cleveland. What was the big splash? Get Deshaun. We don't care about his past. We don't care about his history. As a matter of fact, he has such a crappy past. We're going to give him all this money guaranteed. Are you kidding me? Who else would do that?
Right, I agree, but the Atlanta Falcons were in on that whole.
And Charles is right. They are the Browns. Every morning, I flush them right to the Super Bowl. Every morning, brother. I go to the bathroom and I flush and I think of the Cleveland Browns. Charles, you said it. I had to follow up with it, brother.
Here's my final take on this. If Lamar was healthy for a full season and actually got deep into the playoffs, I warrant that. Because guess who was healthy and was the crappiest Raven ever to go ahead and get a contract? That's Trent Dilfer. He won a Super Bowl.
Right.
So you don't need a running quarterback running all over the place. So Lamar, to be honest with you, I think is expendable.
Well, to me, I think anybody saying he's expendable at 26 years old, a former MVP quarterback. I mean, the Atlanta Falcons have Desmond Ridder. Okay. You think they're going to be better off with him than Lamar Jackson? You think okay. So,
but Peter, let me ask you this though.
Yes.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Yes.
So, okay, you have Lamar Jackson in your hand. Okay, he's great. He's wonderful. Former MVP.
Sure.
What are you going to do when you have Lamar Jackson sitting out for 4 or 6 games this year? Who's going to be your backup?
That's the risk. That's the risk you take with getting a franchise quarterback that's that dynamic. At the end of the day, you're talking about Jackson, but we just got done talking about Deshaun Watson, who they were in on, and the owners coming out and saying, Well, he's missing 5 or 6 games. Watson has missed a total of 36 games in his career. The last 2 years, over 20 games.
Are we talking about suspension now, or are we talking injury?
It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Injury.
No, it's not.
It's all about availability, gentlemen. That's what it's about.
It's not the same thing. And you're not talking about the 2 same type of quarterbacks with the 2 same skill sets, Peter.
It doesn't matter.
I agree that there's availability that needs to be accounted for. Okay.
Sure.
But when that suspension is over, and as long as he stays on the good side, he doesn't get injured.
No, that's not true. He does, because he missed his rookie year and he's got 2 torn ACLs. So to this point of the owner talking about injury, and he was going after one of the most injury-riddled quarterbacks that's missed a multitude, Leo word, of games throughout his career. So to me, once again, this goes back to what we've been talking about the whole night. This is not necessarily about Lamar Jackson's value. This is about owners having a wink-wink agreement saying, you know what? We're not going to pay this guy guaranteed money. We're not giving any quarterback guaranteed money. I hate to tell you, the NBA is already doing it, and eventually the players are going to step up. The Players Association are going to step up and go, no, you're going to pay us because you're multi-millionaire owners that are not going to go broke. You got a $1 billion revenue business in the league right now. You're not going to go broke. You're going to pay us what we're worth. You're going to pay us guaranteed money, because at the end of the day, any of these players can be cut and the owners don't have to pick up the check. They don't have to. That's unfair. The NFL Players Association, the players need to step up and do what's right by them. Seriously.
But Peter, ask yourself this. How come out of 30 other teams, probably half of them need quarterbacks, or at least an upgraded quarterback?
Agreed.
How come nobody's approached?
Because they don't want to give up the 2 first-round picks, because they don't want to pay him the money, because they've been told by the owners of the Baltimore Ravens, we're not doing this again. We're not going down that road like the Cleveland Browns. That's what it's about. It's about collusion. It's not about the value, because you can't sit there and tell me that Sam friggin' Howell of the Washington Commanders is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson.
They are super high on that young man.
They may be super high on that young man. They also may be high off their ass because they're a terrible organization and they're
I just said they're super high on him.
Well, yeah, they're super high.
And I can tell you who's really high on him is Chico. Okay, Chico's very, very high on him.
Chico may be high on them, and they are also high on Carson Wentz, and they should have been high and drug tested for going after Carson Wentz and giving up multiple picks for that guy, because he's nothing but a bust. And you're telling me that you'd rather have a Carson Wentz over Lamar Jackson?
Did I say that?
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying that's the franchise saying.
I didn't say that.
I'm gonna
just said they're very high on this young man that they drafted.
I get they're high. They could be high. A lot of people could be high.
Yeah, but you ever driven to DC at all? Of course, everybody there's high.
Right.
So
they're all high. They're absolutely high. Listen, there was a report this week, Charles. We got Charles Richardson of the Charles Richardson Show. I know his last show is on Friday. I don't care. He's a part of the sports web. He's always welcome here. You're a Patriots fan. There was a report from Robert Kraft saying Meek Mill text him, Meek Mill reference here on the Evolution, and said that Lamar Jackson wanted to join the New England Patriots. Kraft said this would be up to Bill Belichick. You're a Patriots fan. Wouldn't you take Lamar Jackson over Mac Jones at this point?
Well, yeah, obviously, probably would.
Okay.
But Belichick's style of offense, or his style of play, and Bill O'Brien isn't going to involve a running quarterback. So it's going to be a passing. It's going to be a pass, and they're going to have 5,000 or 6,000 running backs at their disposal that they just go ahead and throw the ball over the field or hand them off and have a good offensive line.
Right.
Hopefully.
Right.
But I don't think Lamar Jackson. Again, the amount of money they're going to have to go through. When have you ever seen the Patriots pay money? Ever?
Well, I've seen the last couple of years here where that
ever. They're even more frugal than the Green Bay Packers were. When was the last time you seen Green Bay pay anybody?
Well, that may be the reason.
No, I'm sorry. Incorrect when I say that. When was the last time you seen Green Bay take a free agent and pay them? I can name it. This is how long it goes. A guy by the name of Reggie White. That was it.
Right. Well, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, gentlemen, this also has not worked out for the Patriots the last couple of years, because not only does Brady almost every other year cut down his salary so he can pay the other players, but you didn't pay him. You lost him. You missed the playoffs how many years now? And then the Green Bay Packers, because they didn't go after wide receivers or they paid Aaron Rodgers too much money, that necessarily hasn't worked out. I mean, it's for both teams, it's a mess. It doesn't always work not paying money. Free agency isn't the devil. Free agency is like a Band-Aid at the end of the day. If you don't draft well, you can always go out into free agency. So it's not a bad thing to spend money. This whole thing of, well, the NFL owners are going to go belly up. Guys, it's a multi-billion-dollar revenue business in the National Football League. They're not going broke if they give Lamar Jackson guaranteed money. It's just that they don't want to do it, and they're trying to make it look like, well, this guy's off injured. He's got a bad attitude, all this other nonsense. He's just a couple years removed from being the MVP of the league. Give me a break, man.
Yeah, but those couple of years do speak volumes. But, yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be guaranteed money throughout, definitely down the road. But the owners are trying not to give that much power to the players.
Right.
So we'll see how it works down the road. But Lamar, honestly, my final take on this.
Yep.
I think if he's really going to be that upset about not getting a deal, can he sit out? Is he allowed to sit out?
Sure.
What's the deal with that?
Absolutely can sit out. He can sit out. He doesn't have to play under that tender. He doesn't have to sign it. And if I'm Lamar Jackson and I'm the NFL Players Association, I would tell him to sit out and stick to his guns, because at the end of the day, this is going to be a monumental decision that may change the whole complexion of the way owners are doing contracts going forward. Great stuff, Charles. Thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you, my friend. Hang in there, okay?
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Good stuff there, Charles Richardson of the Charles Richardson Show. I mean, I think the Lamar Jackson thing is going to go on, and I think he could stick. I mean, do you see him signing that deal with the I don't see him coming back. I just don't.
I don't know. You want to know what's going to happen? If he doesn't get a legitimate offer, he'll end up signing with the Baltimore Ravens. That's just my opinion.
Well, he already asked for a trade on March 2nd. He's already said the Ravens are not meeting his value. I mean, just think about it.
But nobody else has either.
We have a job right now. See, there could be something that happens after the draft, and that's where it gets sneaky. Let's say one of these teams doesn't get a quarterback. Let's say the Indianapolis Colts, they whiff and don't get a quarterback. Are you giving up your pick next year and the year after for an opportunity to talk to Lamar Jackson and sign him to a deal?
I think Indy's a bad example.
Who else? Who do you think would be interested? Let's say the Jets strike out on Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I honestly think, if it starts to get a little bit close, I think the Jets do go after Jackson. I do.
Okay. I think that would be the best move. Open phone line if you want to talk about this. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, 727-409-7528. Again, 409-7528. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with my co-host here, Mr. Handicapper Extraordinaire of 1252 Chicago Sports here at the Greek. Before we get out to the comments, give me some picks on Major League Baseball this year that we should be looking out for, my friend.
Well, I don't want to talk about for the year. In baseball, you really want to play a lot of the home underdogs,
right?
Because the sexy pick, like, oh my God, you want to lay 3-1 on your money, play the Yankees tomorrow against the Giants. No, who wants to do that? What you want to look for are teams that are at home that are underdogs, and there's two of them that jump off the page. Both of them slightly risky, but boy, the price always makes up for the pick. Milwaukee's at the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs are plus 130 at home on game one. Yes, that's right, Chicago fans. People that out there that know this, I do like the Cubs tomorrow plus 130.
Wow.
Atlanta at the hey, but I don't pick with my heart. I pick with my brains. Atlanta at the Washington Nationals. Washington plus 200.
I want to sing this right now. Go Cubs, go.
No.
Go.
Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna lose today.
Oh, no.
This guy sucks.
You pissed
Except for tomorrow.
Except for tomorrow. Tomorrow. How many wins do you think the Cubs have this year?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not really going to analyze that too much. I haven't really gone through too much of that, but I can tell you this much: Washington at home. I understand the mighty Atlanta Braves are coming to town, but plus 200, I kind of like the home team.
Okay, home team. All right, good stuff. What about the Tampa Bay race? What do you like in that?
Well, let me tell you what the line is.
What's the line? Tell me what the line is, and I'm going to go on to these comments really quick. Hope Lamar
Tampa
plays.
Bay Raids.
Yes.
Edwin Rodriguez is coming on the mind for the Detroit Tigers against McClanahan. Tampa Bay Rays are a predominant favorite. They're minus 250. So that means you have to lay 250 of your hard-earned dollars to win $100. You lay the 250 down, okay, and if you wager 100, you got to give them 250. So what in return, you get your 250 back, which is your investment, and then you get your 100.
Okay.
Okay, it's too much. There's no way you want to go ahead and bet anything like that.
No way.
No, that's just too much. It's you just can't do that. Are they going to win the game? Probably. But I mean, who wants to lay $250, almost $300 just to win 100? You just don't want to do it.
Go spend that on watching the game or getting yourself at home and maybe saving that money and putting some of that money to goodies and drinks and stuff like that. Hope Lamar plays on the tag and Bucs go get him next year. Certainly possible. He may not play on the tag. He may be available next year. It may come to a point where he holds out. The Ravens don't have a quarterback. There was a report out there. They were trying to sign Baker Mayfield. He turned them down for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Adam says 2019 defenses were not ready for Jackson. He used his legs most of the season. Mahomes is a true talent. Not saying Mahomes isn't a true talent, but to deny and sit here and say that mobility isn't a facet, and when an owner is coming out saying style of game, that to me is a smack in the face, because every NFL quarterback these days has a style of game where they have mobility. Now, does Lamar run a little bit more than everybody else? Yes. Is that a product of the offense? Is that the product of not putting a number one wide receiver? That's where I think the Baltimore Ravens have failed him. I think he can be a drop back passer, but at the end of the day, you don't need him necessarily to be a drop back passer. You want to use his talents. You can build an offense around this guy.
He can drop back 2 or 3, maybe even a half a dozen times per game. It's just not his gig. He's just not as comfortable. He's not accurate from the pocket. He's more accurate when he's rolling out of the pocket. I get what Arthur Blank is saying. Could he have said it a little bit more tastefully? Without question.
Just don't say it.
I mean, yeah.
Just say what it. Just don't say it. Say we're not going to talk about other players on other teams and leave it at that. When you say this type of stuff right here, this leads more people to think that there is collusion going on between the owners. Because again, my point of contention has been, if your whole point of emphasis is the reason why we're not pursuing a Lamar Jackson is because of style of play and injury history, you just pursued Deshaun Watson just a year ago. He has worse injury history. He's missed more games in the NFL. And also he has 2 torn ACLs. He's not, this is not holding water. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's it. Dave says, just got on, but I wasn't on board with Jackson, but now I am. Peter has a point. Better O-line with the Bucs makes this team a Super Bowl contender for the next 8 to 10 years, which the Bucs have never had a franchise quarterback. And think about it. Everyone's like, okay, Kyle Trask, he may be. But in their history of histories, it has never worked out because they've never been able to develop it. Can they do it? I hope they can. I hope he's the guy. If he's not the guy, Baker Mayfield. But in their history, they are better off with veteran quarterbacks. Well, here's the thing, Harry. You got the best of both worlds. You got a guy that's not only a veteran that's played in the league, but he's 26 years old. You get a guy like that, you can have him for the next 10 to 12 years if you can keep him healthy, if you can build an offense around him. And great coaching can do that.
History has tendencies of repeating itself. You have
Correct.
26 years old. It's not going to. They have tendencies of continuing. Okay, there's propensities of things like that happening. I don't think that this young man. I pray that he's able to stay healthy because he's dynamic to watch on the football field.
Correct.
But the likelihood of that happening is very marginal. So let's just say he has one stellar season. He plays all 17 games. It's just you're just on that pitch clock, and eventually he's going to be out for a while. Look, man, in today's NFL, defenses are just way too fast.
Do you say the same thing about
way too
Justin
fast.
Fields? Do you say
I'm going to tell you a little something different about Justin Fields.
okay? Tell
Justin Fields is not a running quarterback that can pass the ball. When he was in college, he was a pocket passer that could run. This team in Chicago that he had forced him to be that running type of quarterback. And I will tell you this, if he has another season of running the football this coming season like he had last season, you can say goodbye to his legs because they are going to catch up to him. Love him, love the talent, but he is a better pocket passer. He has a better touch, and he can understand the inside of the pocket better than Lamar Jackson can. I'm sorry, that's just the way I see it. I am not enamored with this type of prototypical quarterback that has got a run-first mentality. But Justin Fields is a pocket. He's a passer that can run the football. Last year and the first year, it wasn't like that. That's how bad this team was.
Well, and I guess the comparison I'm making is, do you think the reason why he ran so much is because you didn't have the weapons, much like what you had in Baltimore, where you only have one tight end, you don't have a number one wide receiver, you're dependent on that offense from Greg Roman. Is it fair to say?
Yes, I'm going to answer your question. Yes, but now let's go back to college.
Mm-hmm.
One of them can play in a pro-style offense. The other one couldn't. Lamar Jackson has never been under center, where Justin Fields has been under center. Okay, there's the difference, Pete. It's just like Deshaun Watson. Look, man, I am not a Deshaun Watson supporter.
I get it.
And nobody knows, can Lamar Jackson potentially be a pocket passer that can run the football? Remember what I'm trying to say? Justin Fields is that pocket passer that can throw that can throw the ball, but also run, not run, but and can throw.
Right.
I don't think a team is going to pay Lamar Jackson that kind of money to try to change his style of play. That's just my opinion. But here's another thing for you. Lamar Jackson, and I don't know where these pundits are getting it, that this guy's looking for guaranteed money. It would be nice to have guaranteed money, but he has never once said out of his mouth that he's looking for guaranteed money.
Yeah, I mean, he said he took on a contract of 3 years, $133 million or something along those lines, and basically said, "Oh, I needed an agent." But nobody really knows those terms. Nobody knows.
3 years, $133 million, and if there's $50 million in guarantee, he'd sign the deal like that.
He may or he may not sign the deal because
he's never said that guaranteed money is an issue. Gil Brandt, okay? God bless him, man. That man will forget more about football than the two of us combined.
Godfather.
Okay?
He's definitely
I'm telling you, he's extraordinary.
Right.
He has a lot of inside information. I do listen to the man. There's not many people that I do listen to because I have my own opinions. But when he said, if they put a deal together that was somewhat financially conducive for him, he just wants to be accepted. At this point, this guy's feeling like an alienated individual that nobody wants me.
And I don't understand it.
But there's going to be a ton of teams that are going to be vying for his services. They're just not going to give him that guaranteed money. It will be contingent on his health. I promise you that.
Well, then you structure the contract to where
they're going to.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay, let's go out to Adam. I take Fields over Jackson today. Give Fields an offensive line and some true wide receiving talent. He's going to be a beast. Dave says Jackson had no wide receivers to throw to. Evans and Godwin would be a gold mine for Jackson. That's what I agree with.
Yeah.
Troy says running back converting to quarterbacks like Justin Fields won't make it in the league. You know, with you be saying that, I'm gonna put this out there.
Sucks.
I think that's also the thing that people don't understand. And you kind of learn this from Tom Brady, right? Throughout his whole career, he was drafted 6th round. He always had that chip on his shoulder. You know, the same people that are saying about his injury history and how they don't feel he's consistent are most likely the same people that said when Jackson came out of Louisville, he should have been a running back or a wide receiver. And he still has that chip on his shoulder that he should have been one of the number one quarterbacks in that 2018 draft, and he was picked at the end of the first round. And for the Ravens to come out and basically saying so many words, we're not going to pay you your value. We're going to pay Roquan Smith. We're going to take care of these other guys. We're not going to take care of you, is a smack in the face. And I think the genuine reason why he doesn't want to be a part of the Baltimore Ravens. It's about respect at the end of the day. It's not just about money, which people keep on throwing out there. It's about respect. He has a chip on his shoulder.
You know, but talking about the Baltimore Ravens, you're talking about a team that's perennially been, just in and out every year. They have been a super, super good football team.
Right.
And it has everything to do from the ownership to the management and everything else. They obviously know something that we don't. If it doesn't make sense, there has to be a reason for it. Why would you want your franchise quarterback to go shop? Because they know he might be asking more than what they're going to give. Look, man, someone's going to make an offer. If you notice, Baltimore hasn't made a play for any other quarterbacks. You don't hear them talking about any other quarterbacks.
Well,
they're not stupid.
Baker Mayfield now.
I understand that, but Baker Mayfield would be riding the pine if Lamar Jackson was there. But let me explain this to you, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you now, Tyler Huntley is not their quarterback, even though he went to the Pro Bowl, which I thought was a joke.
With how many interceptions and touchdowns?
But listen,
terrible.
Lamar Jackson will be QB1 for the Baltimore Ravens come week 1. They will be.
All right, we will revisit this segment here. We're going to move on here and talk.
I just need to know who's going to be kicking for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers
I need to
team.
know too. And if you want to talk about who's going to be kicking for this team on week 1, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, 727-409-7528. 727-409-7528.
That's great enough to suck right there.
We went to talking about quarterback play to now talking about kickers. It amazes me that not one team would break the so-called blacklist of not giving Jackson the money because winning pays more in merchandise and publicity. Great comment.
Yeah.
All right. I know that you're tired here, Mr. Harry the Greek, so let me go ahead and get you out of here. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend.
I'm Harry the Greek. You can catch me here Monday and Wednesday evenings live on the Sports Web. We're going to be giving picks out. Peter's going to be posting on his page some of the picks that I like throughout the course of the week because it is baseball. Let's go ahead and make some money out there. And again, tomorrow, Atlanta at Washington. Very small. It's a week. It's game 1. The first week, you kind of have to just take it easy, but always play underdogs at home. Keep your bets low and your returns high. I'm Harry the Greek. If I don't piss you off, I didn't do my job, but I'm only kidding you. Remember, horseshoes, hand grenades, and what? That's the only thing that counts. We'll talk to you later. Peter, thanks for having me on. It was great. Thanks for the people calling in tonight, to Ray, and of course, Mr. Leo Haggerty. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 23 times in 3 weeks that he's agreed with me.
23 Hail Marys right there by Mr. Harry the Greek and Leo Haggerty, their relationship right there. Good stuff. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. Get some rest, all right?
Third pick, the Bucs are going to take a kicker.
Third round. All right, there you go. Get out of here with that.
This guy sucks.
Third round. They better not. They better not draft a kicker in the third round. That's not happening. More needs on this team than a kicker. But yes, we did talk about it tonight. If you want to talk about it with us, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Go back to this comment. That's what I understand. Like, I go into these comments and I'm baffled by author blank because we know about his history. We know that he's paid Michael Vick before. We know that he's gone after Deshaun Watson. Watson has missed 36 games in his career. He's had 2 torn ACLs, and yet this team was ready to give him guaranteed money. And the style of play, that is what the NFL is right now. Even with the prototypical quarterbacks that are in the pocket, they still have to have mobility at the end of the day. And you mean to tell me that your team is not going to be improved with Lamar Jackson, who's a former MVP, who's 26 years old, who can possibly take you to the playoffs and win this division? I just don't see it. Desmond Ridder, Marcus Mariota, makes no sense to me, author blank. I don't understand it at all. I just don't. And it seems hypocritical to me. It really does. If you're talking about injury history, if you're talking about style of play, Watson has taken more sacks in his career than Lamar Jackson. What are we talking about? I don't know. Let's go on to Adam. Defensive players are way too fast today and stronger. I agree with Harry. Carl says, so much for an NFL running quarterback. Laugh out loud. How about a pocket passer who can run? Which has been what the NFL is going to go to, right? Patrick Mahomes, not just in the pocket. He can run. He can make plays on his feet. You know, even Deshaun Watson, to a certain degree, can make plays. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. Joe Burrow has some mobility. Justin Herbert. I mean, I think it's unfair. I really do. I think there's a narrative being pushed out there. It's unfair. It really is. CJ Stroud went to Ohio State. Num. Troy again, more than 10 wins. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Roger says Harry is scared of the Cubs. North Side for life. Troy says South Side Chicago for life. Halstead Avenue.
This guy sucks.
Dave says right now, even with Carolina having the number 1 pick, if the Bucs got Jackson, they would run the South for the next 6 to 8 years. Carr is average at best. Bingo.
Oh, yeah.
I like Derek Carr. I do. But if you get Lamar Jackson, you have him for the next 10 to 12 years, you're winning that division. You have an opportunity to win the Super Bowl. Multiple Super Bowls if you have the defense and the coaching at the end of the day. What are we talking about? Money? I mean, Watson got guaranteed money, and guess what? $36 million restructured. You know, the Browns, they may have given him guaranteed money, but they also did that contract to where they could be helped out in years to come. It's called backloading. You can do that if you want to win right now. I don't quite understand the whole point of, well, we don't have the money. We don't want to give guaranteed contracts to NFL players. What, are the owners going to go broke all of a sudden? Because a $1 billion revenue business and the National Football League, that money is going to stop all of a sudden? Come on, man. Rodgers is 12 years older than Jackson. So if I were the Jets, I would take Jackson all day, every day. Agree. And think about that. There are teams like the Carolina Panthers that would give up multiple first-round picks, a second-round pick, a number 1 wide receiver to get a player that is unproven, instead of giving up 2 first-round picks for a guy that's proven. Does that make any sense to you at all? And once again, if you think that there's not collusion going on between these owners, I got oceanfront property in Arizona for you. I do. Go Rays, but Atlanta all the way. Good stuff, Dave. Christopher Cole, Rays 96, Cubs 84, White Sox 88. Opa, Sitton says, Bucs 13-3. Charles, Chicago already has 9. You should be able to find a starter to help in some aspect. Charles, again, Lamar Jackson games missed, doesn't deserve a guaranteed contract. Again, you're willing to give a guy a chance like Watson for the Atlanta Falcons with all the games that he's missed. If this is about availability, it's the same thing. Whether he's injured or he's suspended, it's the same thing. It really is. Let's go out to David. Well, if that's the case, Peter Jackson must not have had any receivers at Louisville either. I mean, I think it's a style of offense, but to sit here and say, Dave, that he's not able to throw from the pocket, it's just naive. He can throw from the pocket. Had the coaching staff used him in different ways? Absolutely. Does he have an advantage over defenders? Absolutely. But you're going to sit here and tell me that Baltimore has given him enough weapons, that they've given him a number 1 wide receiver? Who? Who's the number 1 wide receiver, Dave, of the Baltimore Ravens? I know who Deshaun Watson had, DeAndre Hopkins, before they traded him away. And then they had Brandon Cooks. How many other receivers did he have? Like, you're telling me Mark Andrews, the tight end? Yeah, he's a great tight end, but is he number 1 wide receiver? And Dave, I know how you feel about Lamar Jackson, but you're not going to sit here and tell me that if he were not out there right now and the Bucs had the money, that you wouldn't be trying to kick those tires and get him in a Bucs uniform. You're not going to tell me that. You're not going to sit here and tell me that you would rather have Kyle Trask or Baker Mayfield over Jackson. I'm sorry. I don't care how much you hate Lamar Jackson. You're not passing up an opportunity to get a 26-year-old quarterback. You're not. Let's see here. Peter, I somewhat agree, but how do you beat Lamar by containing him in the pocket, making him beat you with his arm? Only say that about running quarterbacks. How do you beat Brady? Get him out of the pocket, make him run. It's an astute point. But again, Jackson can beat you with his feet. That's the added dimension that defenses have to account for. That's where Todd Bowles is asked this week about it. I hate facing Lamar Jackson. He's a great player. I watched Lamar for many years in college and the NFL. I don't think he has it in him to be a pocket passer. He's always looking to run or even throw on the run. I've said it to you before. I don't see him lasting another 4 years in the league. Well, at least not an elite level. Fair point. Rick says, sorry, brother, you can't mortgage your future on an older quarterback who can't stay healthy. He's 26, Rick. You know, we're not talking about Aaron Rodgers is 39. You want to mortgage your future for somebody who's unproven at 22, 23 years old, and there's no guarantee that it's going to work because it has never worked for the Bucs. Ever. Let's see. Plus, he's a running quarterback. Never works out. Deshaun is a piece of garbage as a human being, but 5 times the pocket passer that Jackson is, and yet he has more of an injury history than Jackson does. He has 2 torn ACLs. Just putting out the facts. David says, like I said, I agree with you, but who did Aaron Rodgers have a year ago when he was the MVP of the wide receiver? It's a fair point. Definitely a fair point here. We got some more breaking news. What's going on here? Let's see. Okay. We already went to that, so that wasn't breaking news. ESPN playing games here. 26 with old legs. I mean, again, it's a fair point. It is a fair point with Aaron Rodgers. The receivers he has to throw to, I don't think they're bad receivers. I don't think they're as bad as was originally intended. Are they? He's had Devontae Adams for a couple of those MVPs. You're stuck with Mayfield. Oh, that's fine, Russ. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying he's going to the Bucs. I never said he was going to the Bucs. I'm just saying at this point, if he were out there as a free agent and the Bucs had the money, don't tell me you wouldn't go after him. Don't give me this injury narrative garbage. And what Arthur Blank said today is hypocritical. It shows that owners are in collusion, in my opinion. All right, let's go out to what Todd Bowles had to say at the owners' meetings. I did like Mayfield coming out. You said this at the NFL annual meeting in Arizona. We kind of hit it off mentally from the standpoint you liked his moxie. You liked his leadership skills. You liked the way he could get out and throw on the run. You like that? That's Todd Bowles. That's not a guy that's staying in the pocket. Let me read it again. I did this on purpose. We kind of hit it off mentally from that standpoint. You liked his moxie. You liked his leadership skills. You liked the way he could get out and throw on the run some. You like the fact he won in several places where he's gone. You like that leadership about him. So you liked the naturalness about him, and I think it will be great for him to come in and compete with Kyle Trask. There are 2 different types of quarterbacks, and I think we can win with either one. He also says it gives us competition. It gives us another warrior. It gives us a guy who has gone to the playoffs before, and at least you have a proven guy and someone who can compete with Kyle that will make sure we haven't taken dips too low. I think when you lose the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady, everybody just assumes you're going to be bad. At least that's the narrative. But it takes a team to win a Super Bowl, and it also takes a team to play ball games. Now, he also had this to say about Mayfield again. He has natural leadership skills. It's not overblown. Guys naturally gravitate towards him. He has an excitement he brings toward the game, and he's hungry. Now, he also talked about Kyle Trask for you Trask Force people out there. Of course, Trask 3 for 9 with 23 yards, his only throws in the National Football League. He says he understands he has a chance to start. That will be Kyle Trask. He's working his tail off. Me and Kyle have a good relationship. We've been honest since day one, since he's come in there, and I look forward to seeing what he does. Those of us who see him every day, Kyle does more work on the side away from the cameras. Every time I look up and come to the office, he's out there working by himself, trying to get better. I think that's the number one for a quarterback to have is inner drive. He can read defenses. He can process very quickly. He can run an offense. So I look forward to him coming out this year and really showing us what he can do. So there you go. That's his comments on the quarterback situation, the quarterback competition that is coming. He also had this to say about quarterbacks. We're not looking for a guy to come in here and be Superman. We're just wanting him to take advantage of the talent all around him on this offense. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, the other open phone line, if you can't get in, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Also says they're open to see what Tristan Wirfs is going to do. So nothing has been decided in that situation if Tristan Wirfs is going to move to the left side or not, depending on where they're going to draft at the end of the day. He would also mention that he would like to re-sign Hakeem Hicks, which is kind of surprising to a lot of people. But if you look at it at the end of the day, you don't have a lot at the defensive tackle situation. You've lost Nacho there. You have Vita Vea. You have Logan Hall. But they would like Hakeem Hicks back. A lot of people say, well, he only played 11 games last year. Okay, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. We talked about it, the difference between this defense when it comes to stopping the run. Teams, when Hakeem Hicks and Vita Vea are on the field together, this team was 6-1, and they're only giving up an average of 89 yards a game of rushing. When they weren't on the field together, 2-8, and they're giving up over 120 yards of rushing. So there certainly seems like there's interest in bringing back Hakeem Hicks, depending on what the free agent market is out there for defensive tackle that is 33 years old. It may not be as plentiful as he thinks it's going to be. He may end up in Tampa on a one-year deal. Would you be okay with that, Bucs fans? What about a William Golston? Do you think the Bucs re-sign both of these players? Do they re-sign one player? Who would your choice be if they're going to sign a Hicks or Golston? Which one? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to David here. Yep. But it's not likely you're going to come out and say Kyle sucks. They never said that about Roberto Aguayo or Vernon Hargreaves. You're exactly right. We're going to see it firsthand. I can't wait to see it because it's what we're going to talk about on this show during the summer, along with all the position breakdowns like we always give you here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Give to the YouTube chats. And, of course, Facebook stars. Give to the content if you like it. I know I appreciate doing it, and I appreciate the support, but it's always good to get a little bit of a scratch, if you will, for doing it. Let's go out to David here. Bring back Golston. That boy is reliable. He absolutely is reliable at the end of the day. It was reported, and this from Howard Balzer on Twitter, saying that the contract for Levante David was $7 million for 1 year, but actually the base value of that deal is apparently $4.5 million with 3.3 signing bonus and a non-guaranteed salary of $1.16 million, and also includes 4 void years to spread out the cap charge for a signing bonus. Once again, we talked about Scotty Miller signing with the Atlanta Falcons. What do you think of that? What do you think of the new kicker? We talked about that ad nauseum for the night. We talked about Todd Bowles and his comments about Baker Mayfield and, of course, Kyle Trask. I mean, I definitely think we've covered everything we needed to cover at the end of the day. So I think we'll just wrap it up for this night. Thanks a lot to all the guests on the show. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire at 1252 Chicago Sports, the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former coach scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions, and, of course, Amped Up Sports, and Best of the Bay, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. And, of course, all your phone calls. Once again, we usually do a turnbuckle talk, but Ralph Williams, the bodyguard of the Berg, lost his nephew. So prayers out to him and his family. Hopefully he'll be on soon. But like I said, buddy, get better. We're all here for you on the Sports Web. Once again, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Of course, like I Love St. Pete, The Hub, and Amped Up Sports. Let me read these comments again. What's up with Blaine Gabbert? Is he just hung up his cleats? He's talking to supposedly the Raiders. We'll see how that goes. And David says, great show. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. You know it. You love it. You got to have it on Monday and Wednesday nights. It's the evolution of sports talk television. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Have a great night.